Okay, last time we discussed about what is a biorefinery and what is the raw materials for the biorefineries and what are the advantages and especially SWOT analysis and the classification and definition. These basic things are already we discussed. Okay, I hope you all have already read the two materials that I have given. Okay, that is very important for your exams. Okay, today I am going to do the lecture with a small PDF. Okay, because I am not going to give you so much slides. Okay, because it's very difficult to include all the things in slideshows. Okay, so I am generally referring world's most reputed engineering websites and also the research websites, Science Direct, ResearchGate, and those kind of things. Okay, so I am not going to give you much slides. Okay, so you have to read these small PDFs. Okay, so easily, I know as a previous university student, I passed out from 2016. Okay, I think now almost 6 years ago. No, 7 years ago. I know these are very small PDFs, very interesting PDFs. Okay, so definitely you have to go through this interesting PDFs. Okay, because you can see today I am going to talk about biofuels. Definitely, I hope to give you one question based on this biofuel section, because this is very important concept and this is the core of your subject. Because biorefineries are, I already taught you, biorefineries are already designed or operated for several products and also energy. Okay, not only the biofuel. Okay, biofuels are the core means haraya. Can avasan pratipale. We are expecting more and more biofuel production from biorefineries. Okay, not the bioproducts, and also fertilizer, polymers. That are also very important. But when we consider about the world scenario, future sustainability, we try to what? We try to minimize the usage of petroleum derived fuels. Okay, so we are going to replace the petroleum derived fuels from what? These biofuels. So biofuels are very, very important concept throughout in this year module. Okay, so when we consider about biorefineries, you must know what are the biofuels and also the biofuel classifications and how they are going to produce. And also today I am going to talk about where we can see in Sri Lanka, especially in Sri Lankan environment, where we can see this biofuel production and the opportunities and environmental considerations, economic considerations. This type of things are we are talking today. Okay, so previous lecture I already given you two PDFs. Sorry, two references. Okay, two references PDFs. So I think you already have gone through that two PDFs, especially what I have teach you, very important for your exams. Okay, so don't try to අපි කියන්නේ කටපාඩම් කරන්න එපා මේ subject එක. Come to the lectures. Okay, that is very important. I am going to give one question from the industry and also the applications and what I already teaching you. That means the කියන්නේ මම මේ lecture එකේදී ඉඳපු අයට විතරයි මේ ප්‍රශ්න ලියන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ definitely. Okay, so it's very important to attend the lectures. Okay, this is a very interesting subject. So if you have any question, please tell me, ask me questions. Okay, make up a discussion based may lecture එක කරගෙන යමු. Let's it's a very interesting way. Okay, if you have any question related to subject, please ask me. And also if there is any question, you can unmute your mics and directly ask me. Okay, I like very much. Okay, that because through questions we can share the experience, and also I can solve your problems. Okay. Okay. Now today I am going to talk about biofuels. You already know petroleum fuels. Okay. You already know petroleum fuel, diesel, petrol, kerosene, jet A1. Jet A1 means we are calling Guanyana Indana. That means the aviation industry. The industry name is jet A1. Okay, jet fuels. Generally, we are calling jet fuels, but the product name is jet A1. Okay, that is similar to kerosene. Okay. That is, they are petroleum fuels. So when we consider about the world energy usage, petroleum fuels and also coal play a major role in the transportation as well as the sub-integrated process industries. That means without petroleum fuel and coal, it's unimaginable. That means we don't know what will happen. Okay, you already have experience in Sri Lanka. Okay, I think මම හිතන්නේ ලංකාව තමයි පළවෙනි රට මේ තෙල් නැති වුණොත් මොනවා වේවිද කියලා මිනිස්සු ඇත්තටම අත්විඳ රට මම හිතන්නේ. I think according to my point of view. Okay, so you can imagine that much of important that petroleum fuels and also coal, but you know, one day they will be depleted by the time to time, that because that is a non-renewable fuel. Okay, non-renewable fuel. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි පාවිච්චි කරන වේගය වැඩි ඒ fuel නිර්මාණය වෙන වේගයට වඩා. එතකොට මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? One day we have what? One day we do not have that type of fuel. Okay, so we have to go for a renewable energy. Renewable energy means, you know, solar energy and also tidal energy, that type of energy. Okay. Anyway, this biofuel can be classified as a renewable energy. Okay. Some people are saying that is not a renewable energy. Anyhow, biofuels can be considered as a renewable energy because there are dedicated crops. Dedicated crops කියලා කියන්නේ දැන් as an example, when you consider about the countries like Brazil, they have dedicated sugar cane for bioethanol production. Okay, කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ dedicated crops, so deforestation is not there. Okay, so there is a අපි අර කන්නෙන් කන්නට අපි වගා කරනවනේ, කුඹුරු වගා කරනවා වගේ මේගොල්ලෝ අර උග්ගස් වගාව පාවිච්චි කරලා they already doing what? Bioethanol production. So they are dedicated crops. Okay, so you have to consider this biofuel as a what? So renewable fuel when it comes to biofuels. Okay, then you can see in this PDF, actually this is one of the most interesting researchers. You can download this from ResearchGate. Okay, I think already you have gone through these research websites, Science Direct and also ResearchGate. Okay, so then මේවා මේ වැඩක් නැහැ කියලා හිතන්න එපා. Okay, so if you are doing a master or PhD, definitely you have to follow these papers. Okay, so that's why I am trying to give this idea about this the basic of this subject through this kind of practical applications and practical industrial researchers. Okay, not only the academic researchers, but I teach you both theory and practical using the examples in the world and also in Sri Lanka. Okay, then you can see this is the biofuel concepts and considerations. You can easily download this paper from the Google. Okay, so you can write down this topic. Okay, I will already send you this PDF to your today few hours ago. Okay, so still I think whether I don't know whether you got it or not, but anyhow I today afternoon I send this PDF to your coordinators. So I will give you, okay, please give me some of your emails. I will email you otherwise. Okay, you can see this is the University of Florida. Okay, one of the great article on biofuels. Okay, let's go through this document. I will explain the practical scenarios. That means the practical applications and other Sri Lankan applications and world applications with explaining this PDF. Okay, biofuel. Biofuel can be described as any fuel made from organic materials or their processing and conversion derivatives. That is the definition. Okay, so majorly you have to remember biofuel is made from what? Organic materials. That is the most important thing, or their processing and conversion derivatives. Okay, so directly organic materials can be processing or what? The conversion derivatives. Okay, so I think you can easily understand. Okay, so next I am going simply biofuels are combustible fuels derived from recently produced biomass as opposed to ancient biomass, which is the source of petroleum products. What is this ancient biomass? Ancient biomass means already we learned that fossil fuels are made from what? අපි කියනවා නේද සාගර ශුද්‍ර ජීවීන් සහ නේද ශාකමය කොටස් මුහුදු පතුලේ තැන්පත් වෙලා ඒකනේ නේද අලුත්ම definition එක. There are a lot of definitions for the petroleum fuels, but the recent the novel the newest definition for the petroleum fuel is what? අපි කියන්නේ බොරතෙල් හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ from sea microbes. That means කට පෙර සාගරයේ සහ ගොඩබිම ජීවත් වූ ශාක සහ සත්ව කොටස් අධික උෂ්ණත්ව සහ පීඩන නේද තත්ත්ව යටතේ විශේෂයෙන්ම පීඩන තත්ත්ව යටතේ පොළව යට. that means underground මොනවද වෙන්නේ තැම්පත් වෙලා අවුරුදු මිලියන ගණනකට පස්සේ කලින් වෙච්ච ක්‍රියාවලියක ප්‍රතිඵල. that means the ancient biomass means what? ශාක සහ සත්ව කොටස් මෙතනදී ගන්න බෑ. අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් ශාක කොටස් කියන එක. හරි. එතකොට that is simply biofuels are combustible fuels derived from recently produced biomass. That means අපිට මේ පේන්න තියෙන ශාක recently produced. Okay? කියන්නේ පිදුරු, wood pulp, නැත්නම් sugar cane ඒ වගේ දේවල් අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන්. කියන්නේ ශාක කොටස් ගන්න පුළුවන්. පැහැදිලි? හරි. සහ agricultural waste ඒ වගේ දේවල් we can use. Okay? Which is the source of petroleum products. The term biofuel usually refers to liquid fuels used as replacement for the additives to petroleum-based liquid fuel. Petroleum-based liquid fuels. Anyhow, we have to reduce the usage of these petroleum fuels, and one day we have to we have to what? We are going to find a method to replace the petroleum fuels. Otherwise, no solution. Okay. මම ඉස්සරහට ඔයාලට කතා කරනවා LNG fuel එක ගැන මේ subject එකට අදාළ නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ ලෝකේ විවිධාකාර පැති තියෙනවා. There are different types of energy sources. Coal, petroleum, LNG, the newest trend, one of the newest trends in the world, LNG, much cleaner fuel, not renewable, but more cleaner fuel. Okay. Also, there are many ways. I will show you some videos at the start of the lecture. I will show it again where I have trained in the world's largest LNG terminal in South Korea. Okay, I will show their storage facilities and what kind of fuel that is. Okay, that is LNG, liquid natural gas. That is not a biofuel. Okay, That is a petroleum fuel, but very much cleaner fuel compared to general gasoline and diesel like petroleum fuels. Okay, LNG is a petroleum based fuel. Okay, that is not a biofuel. Biofuel means the fuels derived from the biomass. Okay, recently produced biomass. Okay, not ancient biomass. Okay, ancient biomass කියලා ගත්තොත් ඒක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම petroleum පැත්තට එනවා. Okay, හරි. In the literature, the term bioenergy has been used interchangeably with what? Biofuel. That means biofuel, when we are talking about biofuel, bioenergy is there. Again, මේ දෙන්න interchange. That means there is a very close relationship. The same thing, biofuels and bioenergy, because bioenergy is derived from what? Biofuels. So if you want to get bioenergy, you have to derive biofuels first. Okay, hi. Then biofuel, actually the most important things are already I have highlighted. Okay, so don't read only the highlighted passages. So you have to go through the document. Okay, this is a 3-page. Okay, I want to teach you what is a biofuel, what are the types of biofuel, first generation, second generation, third generation biofuels, their economic value and their growth, and world application as well as Sri Lankan applications in this lecture. Okay, that is the case in today's lecture. Okay, then biofuel can be categorized into 2 broad groups. That is bioethanol, more commonly referred to as ethanol. නේද? ethanol කිව්වහම නිකන් අර නේද අපිට නම් මතක් වෙන්නේ නේද? බොන ethanol නේද? ලංකාවේ නම් ethanol කිව්වහම ටක් ගාලා මතක් වෙන්නේ නේද? අර බොන ethanol. නමුත් ethanol වල there are a lot of applications. Okay, in a poor country like Sri Lanka, we are using ethanol for drinking. Okay, so other countries also drink ethanol, people in other countries, but they have very larger applications. Okay, especially the vehicle industry. I will explain you. Especially in Brazil and USA, they have already introduced the vehicles from ethanol. Okay, I will teach you those kind of things, practical things. Okay, in this lecture. So biofuel can be categorized into 2 broad groups. One is bioethanol, more commonly referred to as ethanol. Then you know already in Sri Lanka we are producing bioethanol. දැන් ඔයාලා කවුරු හරි අහුවොත් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ bioethanol හදන තැන් මොනවද කියලා, where we can see the bioethanol production facilities. The major one is Palwatta Sugar Industries. That means Lanka Sugar Company Limited. Government owned now, government organization. There are 2 factories owned for the Lanka Sugar Corporation. That means Sabaragamuwa and Palwatta. Palwatta Sugar is the largest sugar manufacturing and ethanol manufacturer in Sri Lanka. Also Sabaragamuwa also producing both sugar and ethanol. Okay. Also in Hingurana, you can see the distillery. Distillery means ethanol production facility. Okay, so there are several places, okay, where we can see this bioethanol production. Okay, there are different methods. There are a lot of methods to produce bioethanol. Okay, not from the only for the sugar cane. Okay, but most famous and very old technology we call it first generation biofuels. Okay, so the very old and still the most famous and most easy method to produce the bioethanol is from the sugar cane. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ උග්ගස් වලින් සීනි හදන කර්මාන්ත ශාලාවල අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම බයි ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් විදියට. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි කියනවා මේක බයෝ රිෆයිනරි එකක් විදියටයි කිව්වා මම කිව්වනේ. Biorefinery can be a plant or cluster of plants or a complicated integrated process. That may be a small plant. So biorefinery concept is there. So we can consider as this bioethanol production facility Palwatta as a small biorefinery. No problem. Okay. ඒක අපිට එහෙම සලකන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට අපි මම definition එකේම the last lecture I already taught you biorefinery can be a plant, a cluster of plants or integration, a larger combination of plants. Okay. ඒක විදිහට යන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට the basic difference between bioethanol and biodiesel. Okay. Actually, I cannot remember whether if there is a larger biodiesel production. According to my knowledge, there is no biodiesel facility, a production facility in Sri Lanka. That means a commercial size. Okay, there are a lot of small biodiesel production facilities, but when we consider about the industrial scale, this biodiesel production is have some issues compared to bioethanol in Sri Lanka. Okay, so the major, you have to remember the major two biofuel types, what bioethanol and biodiesel. So if you are designing a biorefinery, most of the times in Sri Lanka or India or USA or Brazil or any country, their target is to manufacture bioethanol or biodiesel for the bioenergy. Okay. So you have to learn, you have to understand what is the major concerns. Again, මේ මොකටද මේ biofuel මේකේ වැදගත්ම දැන් නේද? දැන් අපි පොල් ගෙඩියක් අරගෙන නේද? පොල් අරගෙන අපි නේද? මොකටද කරන්නේ? පොල් කුඩු වලින් අපි මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? අපේ වැදගත්ම දේ තමයි පොල් නේද? මිටිකිරි නේ. මිටිකිරි කියන්නේ පළවෙනි පාර මිරිකන පොල් කිරිනේ නේද? ඊට පස්සේ කියනවා අපි දිය කිරි කියලා. කියන්නේ වතුරක් දාලා මිරිකන ඒවට නේද? හරි. එතකොට අපි මිටිකිරි තමයි අපේ බලාපොරොත්තු. හරි. නැතුව පොල් කුඩු ගන්න අපි පොල් මේ ගන්න නැහැ නේද? අර ඒ වගේ තමයි. ඒතකොට what is the මේකේ වටිනම දේ? මේ බයෝ රිෆයිනරි කියන concept ඇතුලේ තියෙන the most important thing inside the biorefinery is the biofuels. So you have to understand. Okay. Why that is important? ඇයි ඒක වැදගත් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? So we must try to find a solution for the petroleum fuels and coals, because one day we have to find out some solutions. Okay. We cannot completely go අර නේද? අර එකපාරට නේද රසායනික පොහොර නැවැත්තුව වගේ ලංකාවේ එහෙම කරන්න බෑ. Okay, that is not the method. Okay, so we have to gradually introduce the blends, fuel blends. Fuel blends ගැන මම වෙනම කතා කරනවා, because the countries like Brazil, they have E10, E25, E30, even E85 fuels. E85 කියලා කියන්නේ ethanol percentage. I will teach you these all those concepts. Okay, so already they have vehicle technology, ethanol vehicle technology. You can read these things in Google as well as YouTube. Videos are already, there are a lot of videos. Okay, so they have already ethanol driven vehicles, but not 100%. Okay, fuel blends, that means petroleum gasoline. Petroleum වලින් එන petrol, gasoline කියන්නේ petrol ම තමයි. ඒ petrol වලට ethanol මිශ්‍ර කරලා මොකක්ද ඒගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ? They have already reduced petroleum fuel usage up to some extent. ඒ කියන්නේ යම් කිසි ප්‍රමාණයකට මේ petroleum fuel වල භාවිතය ලෝකේ අඩු කරලා තියෙනවා. Because why? Because petroleum fuels, their CO2 emissions are very high. Also the environmental considerations and also social. Okay, the sustainability පැත්තෙන් ගත්තාම we have to think about a lot of environmental and social considerations while using these petroleum fuels rather than biofuels. There are biofuels වල ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා. I will teach you today, but comparatively less greenhouse gas emissions are in biofuels compared to petroleum fuels. Okay, hari. Then world leading ethanol and biodiesel producing countries are listed in table 1. Okay, let's go to table 1. Okay, very interesting PDF. Okay, where you can see the table 1. Okay. Okay, this is the table. Okay. Hari. So when you consider about countries, biodiesel production and also ethanol production, you can see the United States 6 billion liters in 2017. Okay, and ethanol production. Okay, how much? 60 billion liters. You can see. Imagine. Actually, Pelvatta sugar has the ability to produce 25,000 liters per day. දවසට ලීටර් 25,000ක් හදන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකට ඔයාලා මේක ගණන් හදලා බලන්න මම මේ කියන එක ලියාගෙන අපේ ලංකාවේ පැල්වත්තෙන් විතරක් කොච්චර හදනවද කියලා 25,000 වැඩි කරන්න 365න්. පැහැදිලි? එතකොට ඔයාලට ලීටර්ස් ගන්න. Okay? දවසට ලීටර් 25,000ක්. We can produce nearly 25,000 liters of ethanol in only Pelvatta. Okay, in only Pelvatta. Then you can imagine how much of this large, this 60 billion liter billion hatak kiyanne. It's a very, very large quantity compared to Sri Lankan case. Okay, so when you consider about the countries, mewa padan karanne epa, but you have a good idea. This is United States, because United States have a lot of sugar cane and also seeds. Seeds කියලා ධාන්‍ය වර්ගනේ. ඒ වගේ දේවල් තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලොන්ගේ they have a lot of crops and also develop agricultural waste. Okay. එතකොට මෙන්න මේ වගේ දේවල් ගත්තාම they have excellent agricultural system and also waste management system, waste to energy systems. එතකොට මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? They are producing lot of biodiesel and bioethanol from this biomass as well as agricultural waste and also microalgae. That I will explain what are the microalgae, then third generation biofuels. Okay, then Brazil අපි දන්නවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් the world's leading sugar manufacturer in the world. ලෝකයේ ඉන්න largest sugar manufacturer in the world. So you can see 28.5 billion liters in 2017. Okay, so you can imagine. Also Brazil is near to Argentina. Okay, so you can see the උතුරු ඇමරිකාව සහ දකුණු ඇමරිකාව නේද? Biofuel production, the leaders. Okay, America and North America and South America and also European Union. You know, European Union කියන එක ඔයාලා දන්නවනේ. ඒ රටවල් සමූහයක් විදිහට ගත්තට පස්සේ. හරි. Then China. China I think හැමතැනම ඉන්නවනේ නේද? You can see already China is coming. China is have a considerable amount of ethanol production already. Okay. Then you know, Thailand, Indonesia, India, they are the countries where you can see the sugar cane manufacturing. Sugar manufacturing well in the leading countries. Okay. Thailand, Indonesia. Okay, so they also have some amount of ethanol and biodiesel. Okay, so when you consider about this table, may ethanol production කියලා තියෙනවනේ. This ethanol means bioethanol. Okay, the countries which are having more first generation biofuels, I will teach you what are the first generation biofuels first. Okay, I will go to the first generation biofuels. Okay, ethanol, biodiesel is produced directly from biomass that is generally a food source. That is a food source. Okay, so as an example, the major source of sugar is sugar cane, while corn is the major source of starch. Okay, the source of first generation biodiesel are soybean, rapeseed, we call canola, and sunflower oil and palm oil, which are edible oil crops. Edible oil crops. So first generation, when you consider about these first generation biofuels, feedstocks for the biofuel production, Sugar cane is the world's famous and very old technology. Okay, very old technology, and also still that is the major production method. Okay, that is still the major production method. So when you consider these countries, what you can see, මොකක්ද ඔයාලට හිතන්න පුළුවන් මේ රටවල් වල මේ සීනි නිෂ්පාදනය කරන රටවල් ටිකම තමයි මෙතන ඉන්නේ. That is the one thing, one hint. Again, you can see the Colombia, India, Canada, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea is also there. Then also Thailand, Argentina, Brazil, United States means the world's largest sugar cane cultivators. So you can see the ethanol production. Okay. So also they are producing biodiesel, okay, because they have very large agriculture firms, sector, agricultural sector. So there are a lot of ways to produce biodiesel and bioethanol. When you consider about Sri Lanka, actually we are in the bottom of the table, okay. We do not have a biofuel manufacturing culture, especially to replace the petroleum fuels. දැන් ඔයාලා දන්නවා අපේ petrol diesel නැති වුණානේ නේද? එතකොට ඔන්න කට්ටිය හෙව්වා. එතනෝල් දාන්න පුළුවන්ද නේද? ඔයාලා දන්නේ නැති කට්ටිය අපෙනුත් කෝල් කර කර අහනවා දෙයා මේ හොයනවා මෙහෙම දුවන්න පුළුවන්ද? ගැසොලින් බ්ලෙන්ඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? එතනෝල් දාලා petrol වලට එතනෝල් දාන්න පුළුවන්ද? that type of culture was there at that time. Then ටිකක් petrol diesel තියෙනවනේ. So මොන biofuel දැන් නේද? දැන් අපිට petroleum fuel තියෙනවා කියලා. දැන් මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? ලංකාවේ culture එකේ එහෙම තමයි අපේ. ලංකාවේ මිනිස්සු ඉස්සරහා බලන්නේ නැහැ නේද? දැන් අපේ එහෙම research culture එකක් නැහැනේ. But these type of developed countries, you can see they are trying to maximize the biofuel production using their crops, whether it may be a first generation, second generation, or third generation. Anyhow, they are trying to manufacture biofuels as much as possible. Okay. ඒ වගේ රටවල්. හරි. ඒතකොට අපි මොකක්ද කරන්නේ? අපේ මුකුත් නැහැ. අපි බලන්නේ we try to import everything. Okay. Import everything and විවෘත ආර්ථිකයත් එක්ක අපිට මොනවා හරි රටවල් වලින් ගෙනහල්ලා කන ක්‍රමයක් තමයි අපි බලන්නේ. හරි. But in Sri Lanka nowadays, this especially after the establishment of this biotechnology degrees, especially technology faculties, especially in I know Sabaragamuwa and also Japura, I think Rajarata also there, and also Ruhuna, I think they have a faculty, and also Ruhuna engineering faculty is going to introduce BSc engineering in biosystems, biotechnology or biosystems. Engineering, BSc in biosystems engineering. Otherwise, I personally know that course. They are try to introduce in next year or very recently. ඒගොල්ලෝ දැන් මේවා වැඩ කරගෙන යනවා පටන් ගන්න. So there are a lot of දැන් අලුත් trend එකක් තියෙනවා. This is a good way actually. This is very very good. When we consider about Sri Lankan future, it's very good because there are actually in my time their technology subject is not much popular. Okay, can be technology. Actually, technology faculties are not there when I was in Morato engineering faculty. Okay, there were no technology faculties. Now, this biosystems technology, this course, this 4-year honors degree, I think very very good for the Sri Lankan future. And also you have a lot of job opportunities in Sri Lanka. මෙහෙමයි job opportunities තියෙනවා කියන්නේ දැන් මේ විදියට හැමදාම අපි ගියොත් හැමදාම මෙතනම තමයි. නමුත් අපි මොලේ කල්පනා කළා කටයුතු කරොත් we have opportunities. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ අපි මේ පාලන ක්‍රමය මේ system එක අනිවාර්යයෙන් වෙනස් කරන්න ඕන. එහෙම කරේ නැතොත් ඔයාලට විතරක් නෙවෙයි, as for the engineers la, doctors la, they also now suffering. Okay. doctors, engineers, and also the other professions. And anyhow, if we want to develop this country, definitely these type of production facilities should be implemented in large scale, the industrial scale. So definitely you will have opportunities in Sri Lanka. Otherwise, you have a lot of opportunities in the world. Okay, no problem. In the then I will teach you the first generation. So first generation in the word, what? Ethanol biodiesel is produced direct from biomass, that is generally a food source. Food source. Example, sugarcane. Because sugarcane means what? First generation biofuel production by කරන්න ගන්න biomass එකක් තමයි අපි කියන්නේ first generations biofuels කියන්නේ. හරි. So second generation, you can see ethanol biodiesel is produced from non-edible biomass sources. Okay, non-edible biomass source. This is edible biomass. Okay, this is edible. You can see. Okay. Then, example, second generation biodiesel is produced from non-edible oils. You have to understand this is non-edible, okay? Second generation non-edible. Second generation biodiesel is produced from non-edible oils, and most comes from jatropha, okay? Jatropha. When you consider about the biodiesel production, the world's most famous method is, one of the most famous method is biodiesel production from this non-edible oil. Okay, make it kramayak. Okay, so if you go into reference list, there is a reference list. Okay, so if you want to read more and more, make interest, you can go to this reference at the bottom and you can read that. Okay, so you can go beyond, very beyond on this concept. Okay, okay, I am not expecting that kind of reading from you because you have a lot of subjects, I know, but basically the PDFs which are given by myself, you must read very carefully, otherwise it's very difficult to face the exam. Okay, මේ exam එකට ලියන්න නෙමෙයි මම මේ පුරුදු කරන්නේ, because we are අපි පොඩි කාලේ ධම්ම විභාග වලට තමයි පුරුදු වෙන්නේ. නමුත් මේක you must මේක ඇඟට ගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක මේ ප්‍රායෝගික දෙයක්. Okay, after even you have a first class degree, when you go to the job, අවකලනය අනුකලනය කරන්න නැහැ most of the cases. Okay, so you have to work with practical. Okay, so make concept එක ඔලුවට ගන්න, then you can manage according to the situation. And okay, make ඔලුවට ගන්න කියලා, but you must know the key concepts, words you should have in mind. Okay, otherwise it's very difficult to face the exams and answer the questions. Definitely I will give you a complicated question. Complicated means not much complicated, but you have to answer. You can easily answer the question if you attend the lectures. Okay, අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ප්‍රශ්නයක් දෙනවා, complicated සහ හිතලා ලියන්න කොටසකුත් දෙනවා. ඒක නිසා සාමාන්‍ය මීට අමතරව පොඩ්ඩක් අර අපි daily news බලන්න කියන්නේ නේද? අර ඒ වගේ මේ ගැන පොඩි you should have a අර පොඩි අප්ඩේට් එකක් තියෙන්න ඕන. දැන් මේ ලෝකෙ මොන වගේ තැනකද තියෙන්නේ? ඒතරම් biofuels කොහෙද පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ? So you must know background. නැතු මේ PDF එකම පාඩම් කරන එක නෙවෙයි. හරිද? පොඩ්ඩක් තියෙන්න ඕන. මීට වඩා ටිකක් එහාට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්න ඕන. That is what I expected from you. Okay, හරි. The third generation ethanol biodiesel is commonly produced from algae, a single cell organism. When you consider about the third generation, that is still in a laboratory scale. ඒ කියන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාට මේ PhDs වලට යන අය මෙන්න මේ වගේ දේවල් වලට යනවා. Okay, already this first generation and especially second generation biofuels are derived. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒවා දැන් develop වෙලා ඉවරයි. They have passed their peak points and already their processing technology, their concepts and all those things are developed. and ඒවා තව develop කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. පැහැදිලි දැන් when you consider about ethanol production from sugarcane, that is already anywhere in the world, and still that is the main method, but that is saturated, that technology is saturated. Okay, so there are no much researchers and all those kind of things for the first generation biofuels. Nowadays scientists are trying to manufacture these biofuels using what? Single cell organisms, that means microorganisms. Okay, so now they are trying to manufacture these biofuels from what? Algae. Okay, algae කියන්නේ මොකද? ශාකමය කොටස් නේ විශේෂයෙන්ම. ඔයාලා දන්නවනේ algae කියන එක. A single I will teach you how algae is used for the biomass production. First of all, that is why actually when you consider about the module, today you have to learn about biorefinery operations. I think I go through that, but before that I decided to teach you about biofuels, because otherwise no point of view. Okay, because before you have to identify what are the biofuels and what are the production methods, and also what are their benefits and concerns, especially economic and environmental concerns. මේ දේවල් ඔළුවේ තිබුණොත් තමයි අර technologies ගැන ඊළඟට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. So before that I shifted your lecture. Okay, okay. Then classification. Okay, so based on type of, you can see I already teach you first generation, second generation and third generation biofuel. Based on the type of feedstock used for produce either ethanol or biodiesel, biofuels are grouped into three what categories? That is the first generation, second generation and third generation. Okay, okay. Then you already I think you already have seen advanced biofuels. Okay, advanced biofuels already you have seen. Okay, is a term generally used to describe comparatively new biofuel production technologies that use waste such as garbage, spent cooking oil and animal fat as feedstock. Okay, so පටලවා ගන්න එපා. Advanced biofuels is not mean that is a third generation. Okay, third generation means algae and what? One cell microorganisms, that means the microbes. Okay, හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න. Advanced biofuels means usually described, okay, generally used to describe comparatively new biofuel production technologies from waste, agricultural waste, that means garbage, spent cooking oil, then animal fats and what? Feedstock. පැහැදිලි නේද? මේ concept හොඳට ඔළුවේ තියාගන්න. ඒක ඔයාලට උත්තර ලියන්න ලේසි. හරි නැතුව අර පටලවා ගන්න එපා. Okay, so you can easily go through this first and second and third generation. Then I will go to production. Okay, okay, when you consider about the algae, okay, the categorized based on their habitat such as fresh water, algae, marine algae or wastewater algae. Then wastewater වල algae තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. පැහැදිලිනේ micro. ඔයාලා දන්නවනේ already you have learned in the wastewater technology also. Okay, wastewater algae and also marine algae. කියන්නේ මුහුදු ආශ්‍රිත algae. පැහැදිලි. ඒ වගේම freshwater algae. Okay. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ගංගාවල මිරිදිය. ඒ කියන්නේ බොන වතුර. You can see there are that kind of algae also there. So depending on your feedstock, what your processing technology is different. Okay. So if you are considering biorefinery, you can use not only a specific microalgae. When you consider about microalgal biorefinery, can microalgae වලින් biorefinery එකක් අපි operate කරනවා නම් as a feedstock, biomass feedstock එක විදියට අපි ගන්නවා නම් මේ algae, so there will be several types. Okay, so finally you will get what? Anyhow you will get biodiesel or bioethanol, biofuel. Okay. Okay. Then you can see ethanol and biodiesel are produced through different chemical pathways. There are a lot of ways. But fermentation and transesterification, okay, are the major pathways for ethanol and biodiesel production respectively. So when you consider about ethanol production, fermentation is the world's most popular method. In Sri Lanka also you can see that method in sugar manufacturing facilities. Oh, okay. I will teach you how this ethanol is produced. Okay. I will do a separate lecture for ethanol manufacturing from sugar cane. Okay. So don't worry, I will teach you ethanol manufacturing from sugar cane. Okay. So remember, in Sri Lanka, you have a lot of facilities, especially sugar manufacturing industries. You can see in the distilleries. Okay. අපි කියන්නේ විස්කාගාරය කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ ethanol produce කරන. අපි දන්නවා distillery and sugar manufacturing is a process integration. That means two manufacturing process facilities. Sugar is a product and also ethanol is another product. Okay, so both products are derived from sugar cane. Okay, so if you visit Pelwatta, Sevanagala, Hingurana, you can see this type of fermentation facilities for producing bioethanol. Okay, that is a first generation, okay, method. And biodiesel production respectively, but for the biodiesel production, the method is transesterification. Okay. Thus, ethanol is produced by fermenting any biomass high in carbohydrates. That means sugar, starch, cellulose. Okay. Compared to ethanol production, biodiesel production is theoretically more straightforward. That means if you want to produce ethanol, there may be different methods sometimes. Okay, but when you consider about biodiesel, the production of biodiesel, when you consider about theoretically, theory විදියට ගත්තාම මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? Theoretically, that is straightforward. That means only one process, that is transesterification. Transesterification is the method for the biodiesel production. But when you consider about bioethanol production, first of all, you have to, before the fermentation, you have to make the material as you wish. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාට අවශ්‍ය විදියට ඒ feedstock එක ඒ විදියට හදාගන්න වෙනවා. Okay, so that is somewhat different. කියන්නේ there may be different processes. Okay, so that can be learned from this graph. Okay, actually if I ask a question, you can remember this type of diagram. Okay, easily you can answer questions, but only drawing the diagram is not the way to answer, but you can reduce the number of words in the answer. Okay, so you must know this type of diagrams in your mind. You should have in your mind. Okay, අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මේ diagrams ඔළුවේ තියෙන්න ඕන. පැහැදිලිනේ. ඒක නිසා මේ වගේ දේවල් වලින් ඔළුවට ගන්න ලේසි. හරි. ඒකින්ද හොඳට බලන්න first generation. You can see sugar based feedstock and also starch. So when you consider about the first generation biofuels, they are derived from where? Sugar based feedstock or starch based. That is the theory. Okay. Easily you can understand through this type of diagrams. And second generation, what is this? Lignocellulosic. That means non-edible. Then මේවා කන්න පුළුවන් නේද? Starch, sugar කියලා කියන්නේ අපි ආහාරයට ගන්න දේවල්. Foods based on food types. So this is non-edible. This is also non-edible. So when you consider about the second generation, lignocellulosic feedstock, you can see wood chips, නේද? Wood pulp. ඒ වගේම bioenergy grasses and also crop residue. Okay, these are the second generation feedstock. And also this is third generation. What? Algae. There is a freshwater algae, marine algae, and also what? Wastewater algae. මේ ඔළුවේ තියාගන්න. Okay. Then you must have to what? Pre-treat these second generation and third generation biofuels prior to the ethanol production. Okay. So remember, okay. So directly you cannot produce ethanol using this lignocellulosic and also algal biomass. So there are different processes. You can see this is there should be a pre-treatment. And also then enzymatic hydrolysis. Okay. So using this enzymatic hydrolysis, what? මොකක්ද කරන්නේ? Sugar කියන එක you should have to develop this product according to the fermentable sugar. Okay. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක මේ sugar අපි ferment කරන්න ඒක අවදාළ විදියට අපි මොකක්ද කරන්න ඕනේ? You should can nirmane karagන්න. You should develop the product. Okay. So first you have, I will teach you what are the pre-treatment methods you have in your module. Okay. Then also what is enzymatic hydrolysis and what is fermentation. All those things I will teach you. Okay. So don't worry. So basically in this lecture I hope to get the basic idea. මේ diagram එක ඔළුවට ගන්න. මොකද මේක නැතුව it's no point of view to learn pre-treatment methods, what is enzymatic hydrolysis, and also what is fermentable sugar. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒවා ඉගෙනගෙන වැඩක් නැහැ. So මේකේ දැන් නේද? අපි අර අලියා ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්නවා නම් අලියාගේ හැටි ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ මුලින් නේ. අලියට කකුල් 4යි, වල්ගේ ඔළුවයි, කන් 2යි, ඇස් 2යි එහෙම තියෙනවා. That type of learning is today I am going to do. Okay. ඒ නිසා මේ දේවල් එකින් එක මම in next lectures I will explain very briefly. Okay, because you have limited I think 14 weeks, or I think according to the your lecturer says. Anyhow, I teach you, I cover your syllabus. Okay, no problem. With 1 or 2 extra lectures if I cannot manage the content. Okay. Anyhow, you should know what is first generation biofuels and also what second generation and third generation feedstock. Okay, these are feedstock. Okay, these are not the biofuels. Okay, biofuel is what? Ethanol and biodiesel. Okay, then you can see this part, sugar extraction and what? Fermentable sugar. That is what? That is from the first generation. That is, you can see this is the sugar cane. Okay. This method is very old method. Okay. This is also old method. Okay. But anyhow, this is the most flexible way and most famous way in the world to produce ethanol. So if you visit any type of sugar manufacturing facility, you can easily see they extract sugar and they use molasses. Okay, මේ වචන ලියාගෙන molasses කියලා කියන්නේ. They use molasses for the fermentation to produce what? Ethanol. Okay, ඊට පස්සේ then we are doing the distillation. Distillation we are calling භාගික ආසවණය. Okay. Okay, then we are producing ethanol blended gasoline. You can see. Okay, so now you have a basic idea about bioethanol production. එතකොට bioethanol production කිව්වහම මෙන්න මේ diagram එක ඔළුවේ තියාගන්න. It's very easy. You can see first generation, second generation and third generation. These are the ways to produce ethanol from different types, different generations. එතකොට this fermentation, prior to the fermentation and distillation, anyhow you have to ferment. Okay, otherwise you cannot produce ethanol. Okay, if you use first generation, second generation, third generation, you must have to fermentable sugar. That is, fermentation is definitely there, and also distillation is definitely you have to do. Okay, but prior to that, you have to what? There are pre-treatment, especially for what? Second generation and third generations. That is why I said comparatively the bioethanol production is much complicated than the biodiesel, because when you consider about the biodiesel, I will show you this is transesterification, okay, and purification. Only that is the process. Okay, so එකම process එක ඒක තමයි transesterification කියන එක තමයි biodiesel වලට. I will teach you next. Okay, හරි, මම හිතන්නේ මේ diagram එක පැහැදිලි. Then what I want to know is in Sri Lanka we are producing only what? 96.3% ethanol. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපි when you consider about this distillation process, අපි මොකක්ද කරන්නේ? ethanol සාන්ද්‍රණය වැඩි කර ගැනීම තමයි කරන්නේ. We are increasing the what? Ethanol percentage in water ethanol mixture. ඒ කියන්නේ ජලය සහ ethanol මිශ්‍රණයකින් අපි මොකක්ද කරන්නේ? අපි කියනවා ethanol සහ ජලය මිශ්‍රණයකින්. Okay, A level වලටත් you already teach in distillation. Okay, කර්මාන්ත රසායනයට very basics you already teach taught. Okay, ඉගෙනගෙන තියෙනවා. learn. Okay, you know, using this distillation process we are going to improve the ethanol percentage in ethanol water mixture. ඒ කියන්නේ ethanol water mixture එකක ethanol percentage එක තමයි අපි වැඩි කරන්නේ. But in Sri Lanka have the facility to increase this ethanol percentage only up to 96.3. ඒ කියන්නේ ලංකාවේ හදන්න පුළුවන් 96.3 කියන සාන්ද්‍රණයෙන් යුත් ethanol පමණයි. හරිනේ, පැහැදිලිනේ. අර ඒව තමයි අර 100ට 30ට නේද? එක එක ගණන් වලට තනුක කරලා ඔය කඩවල වල අරක්කු විදියට එක එක විදියට ඔය මධ්‍යසාර විදියට විකුණන්න තියෙන්නේ. පැහැදිලිනේ මං කියන්නේ. So in Sri Lanka we are producing 96.3%. ඒක හොඳට ඔළුවේ තියාගන්න. That cannot be used for the vehicles. ඒක අපිට වාහන වලට දාන්න බෑ. එහෙම දැම්මොත් එන්ජින් එක ඉවරයි. Okay. So before using in the vehicle we have to produce anhydrous ethanol. Anhydrous ethanol කියලා කියන්නේ අපි කියනවා ජලය රහිත ethanol අපි නිෂ්පාදනය කරන්න ඕනේ. Actually it's very difficult. Never you cannot produce 100% ethanol. Okay, but ethanol can be purified up to 99 point. 99% එකකට වගේ ගන්න පුළුවන්. We are calling that ethanol as anhydrous ethanol. That is, the water percentage inside the ethanol is very low. that is used for the vehicles. Okay. නැතු අපි දැන් කඩෙන් ආරක්කු බෝතලයක් හරි මේ මොනවද ගැස මේ එතනෝල් බෝතලයක් අරන් ඇවිල්ලා වාහනයට දාලා දුවන්න බෑ. මම මේ තේරෙන සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ. So you have to understand, in Sri Lanka we cannot use our ethanol, which is having 96.3 concentration, cannot be used for the vehicles. If you want to use that ethanol for the vehicles, you have to do extractive distillation. Eka method ekak. I am not going to teach the extraction distillation. That is a chemical engineering unit operation. Okay, that is a very complex another process technology. Okay, so you can read. Okay, read and learn. Okay, extractive distillation. Api kiyanawa. I will explain little bit because otherwise, okay, give me හරි ඒකට හේතුව තමයි okay, why we only can produce මේක ඔයාලා කොලේක ඇඳ ගන්න in A levels මෙන්න මෙහෙම එකක් ඉගෙන ගන්නව නේද? This is the ideal curve. I think all you have did chemistry for your A levels. Okay, චතුර කො කියන්න බලන්න කට්ටිය. මදුසිකා හර්ෂණී ඉන්නවද කට්ටිය? නිපුණි?
Yes, sir.
ඔව්. ඔයාලා A levels වලට chemistry කරලා තියෙනව නේද?
Oh, sir.
I think all in your department has did chemistry for your A levels. Okay, otherwise, okay, I think you have already taught this, learned this curve. Okay, මේක තමයි ideal curve for binary mixture. Okay, binary කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Binary mixture. Binary means two components. Binary mixture. ඒකනේ අපි නේද මේක අර XA නේද? කොහොම දානවනේ? XA XB, only two components. Okay, this is the binary mixture. What? Ideal curve. But practically, when you consider about the practical curve, you will get a curve like that. Okay, that is the point. So up to this point only you can what? Up to this point you can. This is 96.3%. We are calling this point azeotropic. Azeotropic mixture. We are azeotropic mixture because if you try to distill the product from this point, same amount of A and B is going to the vapor phase. එතකොට වැඩක් නැහැ නේද? What is the meaning of this distillation? භාගික අවසවණය. We are separating the mixtures from the what? Boiling point. Boiling point එක උපයෝගී කරගෙන තමයි, using the boiling point we are what? Separating the products. But after this azeotropic point, what happened? Same components. ඒ කියන්නේ වාගේ අර light component එකයි, light component and both and other heavy component, both same molar fractions are going to the vapor phase. So you cannot increase the purity. So you have to stop at this point. Okay, මෙන්න මේ point එකේදී ඔයාලට නවත්තන්න වෙනවා. So this is, we are calling the real case. Real case. Okay, this is the ideal case. Okay, in A levels we are teaching actually most of the times the ideal cases. Okay, okay, so practically you will get actually you cannot 100% distill. Okay, you will get actually this type of curve line. Okay, 99 or something like that. Okay, this is we are calling anhydrous ethanol. That is very, very near to the ideal case. That means already this curve, but there is a little azeotrope. Okay, පැහැදිලි නේද? හරි. එතකොට I think you already teach how number of stages. නේද? මෙහෙම අඳිනව නේද? In A levels. But if you are going to purify, what will happen? You have millions of stages. Okay, here. එක මෙතන පෙන්වන්න බෑ. That is in the ideal case. Okay, in the practical case also, never you cannot touch this 100% by distillation. Okay, after millions of stages, you will reach the 100%. That means the infinite. That means not possible. So you will get practically 99 point something like that. Okay, that is we are calling anhydrous ethanol. But in Sri Lanka, we are not producing anhydrous ethanol. We are producing this purity. Okay, this cannot be used for the vehicles. පැහැදිලිද? කියන්න බලන්න කවුරු හරි කතා කරලා මම මේ කියන කතන්දරේ.
Yes, sir.
හරි හරි. කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවද? Anyone cannot understand what I am teaching? මම කියන එක පැහැදිලි නැති I think Yatushikan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you understand?
Yes. Sir.
Okay. Okay, I think Mahitan Hamoto, I think all can understand. Okay. Okay, now I think you have some understand. Okay. Then I will teach what is production. Now you know how ethanol produce. Okay, how ethanol will produce. Actually, this after the distillation, you have to do extractive distillation prior to the ethanol blend with gasoline. Okay. So this distillation must be extractive distillation. Okay, not general distillation. Okay. So you have to remember that one. Okay. Then I am going to teach you what is the method for the biodiesel production. I will teach the trans-esterification equations. All those things are learned in next lectures. Okay. So don't worry. Just remember what is the technology. Now you know the ethanol production technology. Fermentation is there, and also distillation is there. General distillation is there. So if you are blend with fuel, definitely you have to use extractive distillation for the water removal and get a more and more purity ethanol. Okay. In Sri Lanka, we get 96.3. Okay. And you can see what are the feedstock, first generation, second generation, third generation, and what are the types of algal biomass. Already we freshwater algal and also wastewater and marine, the separate types. Okay, lignocellulosic feedstock, they are non-edible. These are also non-edible. And first generation, it's edible. That means starch and sugar. This is the conventional method. Okay, scientists are now saturated with these things. Okay, first generation. Okay, now they are trying especially for third generation, and especially what for I taught you advanced biofuels. What do you mean by advanced biofuels? That is not the third generation. That is generally used for the this type of what? New biofuel production technologies that use waste such as garbage, spent cooking oil, and animal fats. That means advanced biofuels means from waste. Okay, not the algae. Okay, so you have to understand this type of basic uh, definitions. Okay, because I am always teach you the students using this type of definitions and the words industrial and academic researches. Okay, so this is done in, this is a research one. Okay, so you can see this is the Texas A&M. Okay, AgriLife research. Okay, so you can see this is the author, 3 authors. You can see his profile. Okay, you can see how much read this paper, and also this is world reputed papers. Okay, this is not a just PDF or just my idea. Okay, this is world recognized documents. Okay, so that's why I use this type of documents for your teaching. So you can print කරගන්න ඇත්තටම ඔයාලට if you do not have enough money, මම හිතනවා I think all have laptops. So by lecture please keep these PDFs, okay, and near to the and prepare your own what? Prepare your own short notes. Short note එකක් හදාගන්න තමන්ගේ විදියට. That will be very important for your final exams. Okay, and if you have the potential, I recommend you please try to get photocopies if you have money. Okay, I am not telling you because now the economic situation in the country is very crucial. මම හිතන්නේ photocopy එකක් ගන්නත් රුපියල් 10ක් විතර යනවා එක පැත්තක්. So if you have the potential, you can get some photocopy in 2 sides, and with the marker pen you can easily go through this kind of that is your lecture materials. Okay, so මේ කියලා දෙන ඒවා follow කරන්න. I will ask the questions from these PDFs only. What I have given to you, you should have excellent idea about this. So this type of figures are very important. Okay, this type of figures are very important, so you have to remember. Okay, so when you consider about the biodiesel production, you can see the edible feedstock. That means the first generation, second generation non-edible, third generation actually algal biomass, the same thing. Okay, but when you consider about the biodiesel, you cannot produce it from sugar and starch. Okay, lignocellulosic, that type of feedstock cannot be used for the what production of biodiesel. The biodiesel can be produced from especially the canola oil, then sunflower oil, that type of oil. That means there are oil extraction process. Okay, actually this extraction is a chemical engineering unit operation. That is a very complicated processes. I am not going to teach you the how to design extraction processes. That type of things are in chemical engineering. Okay, so you are technology students, so you should know the technology mechanism and how to produce. Okay, so these extraction, distillation, fermentation, transesterification processes are designed by chemical engineers, especially I am not going to teach you the process design. Okay, මේ මොඩියුල් එකේදී අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ නැහැ ඔයාලගෙන් process design සම්බන්ධව, but you must know the method. මේ method එක ඔළුවේ තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Oil extraction and transesterification කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Purification කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? That should be, you should know the basically and how to do ඒ දේවල් ගැන හොඳ අවබෝධයක් තියෙන්න ඕන. Okay, so oil extraction. Okay, then non-edible, when we consider about the non-edible feedstocks, you can see Jatropha. Okay, මේක ලංකාවේ මම හිතන්නේ නැහැ මේ ජාට්‍රොෆා කියන එක there are several methods in the world. Okay, one of the famous method when you consider about the second generation, that is this jatropha. Okay, and algal biomass, actually this is still in the research phase. Okay, this ethanol and biodiesel production from the third generation and especially the second generation, some amount, to some extent, they are in research. Okay, this is not much famous because it's very difficult and difficult to implement these technologies in an industrial scale. මේක මේ industrial scale එකකින් කරන්න අමාරු. පැහැදිලි? But when you consider about that table, what? This table, because already these countries are producing this much billions of liters. How they are producing? From conventional methods. That means especially the first generation feedstocks. ඒක හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න. හරි. එතකොට ලෝකයේ තාම third generation and second, to some extent second generation, they are in the research levels. And actually second generation is still they have some industrial levels, but third generation, when you consider about, they are in the research phase. කියන්නේ ඒක තාම laboratory and pilot plants. Pilot plants එකේ production facilities තමයි තියෙන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට. හරි. ඒක නිසා most probably the 80% of the production is based on the first generation feedstocks. You should know that. Okay, හරි. හරි. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් I stopped the lecture at 5:30. Okay, so I think 2 hours. Oh. Okay, I think there's a problem. Then oil extraction. Okay, if you want to okay, please give me 1 minute. Okay, I think there's a problem. Okay, now you can see this is oil extraction, then trans-esterification and purification. Then you will have the biodiesel. Okay. Okay. Then now I am going to teach you the potential benefits. Theoretically, biofuel is a renewable energy. That is what I am saying at the beginning of the lecture. Theoretically, biofuel is a renewable energy source compared to non-renewable fossil fuel. ඒක හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න. And these are not just saying by myself. And these are world reputed journals, and how they are defined biofuel as whether it's a renewable or non-renewable. So you should remember, theoretically, biofuel is a renewable energy source. Okay, is a renewable energy source compared to non-renewable fossil fuel. That means petroleum, coal, and also LNG. Okay. So you can read these extra things. And biofuels also reduce environmental pollution by decreasing CO2 emissions and improving air quality. That is the important case. That's why scientists are trying to find methods to replace the petroleum fuels by using these biofuels. The major concern is you can decrease the amount of CO2 emissions, and also you can improve the air quality. Okay, the air quality ප්‍රශ්නයක් තිබුණා නේද? මතකනේ? පහුගිය දවස්වල කොළඹ වල නේද? නේ? සීතලයි කියලා එක එක ප්‍රශ්න තිබුණා නේද? So you can see improving air quality. So you can go through the air quality index. Okay. So using this type of biofuels, definitely you can reduce the emissions and improving the air quality. That is the major advantage of these biofuels. And however, biofuel production and consumption by themselves still have impacts on conventional pollutants like CO2. Okay, so you should have you should know these things. And also biofuel, you can see biofuel means majorly bioethanol and biodiesel. That is the case. And consumption impacts, when you consider about production impacts. So consumption impact means what are the impacts when you are consumption the biofuel. Okay, renewable resource, I already teach you biofuels are renewable resource. Okay, and also reduce CO2 emissions compared to the petroleum fuels, and also improve air quality and decrease pollution. Okay, that is the consumption impacts. And what are the production impacts? What are the production impacts? Actually, these impacts are coming from the life cycle assessment. Okay, I think other subjects, I think you may already learn the life cycle assessment. The life cycle assessment එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ from origin to end. ඒක use කරන stage එක දක්වා අපි ඒක එක life cycle එකේ. ඒ කියන්නේ raw materials, ඊට පස්සේ production, ඊට පස්සේ ඒක sales, transportation, ඊට පස්සේ usage, ඒ හැම stage එකේම තියෙන impacts අපි බලනවා. හරි. ඒතර life cycle assessment එකක් කරනවා කියන්නේ ඒකයි. ඒතකොට life cycle impacts ගත්තාම consumption and production කියලා කියන්නේ two stages. The major two stages. Production impacts and also consumption impacts. And there are also transportation impacts. The biofuel කියන එක එක තැනක ඉඳලා තව තැනකට transport කරනකොට impacts තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. That is we are calling transportation impacts. And also raw material transportation impacts. It was say warehouse වල අපි මොන warehouse වල නෙමෙයි අපි storage facility කියලා හිතන්නේ. Tank storage impacts. And storage impacts. එතකොට ඔන්න ඔය විදිහට a supply chain, if you consider a supply chain, there are different impacts, but majorly this article shows the consumption impacts and production impacts. Okay, what are the production impacts? Competition for land, water and resources. So you should have a land. Okay, because the biomass, the recently produced biomass should be the material for this biofuel production. So you should have a competition for land, water and resources, land use changes, and also loss of soil organic carbon, impaired soil productivity, greenhouse gas emissions, environmental pollution. Okay, there are advantages as well as disadvantages. Okay, I will teach you considerations. Okay. So this is okay. This is impacts of biofuel. Okay. So you should remember this one also. Okay. Impacts of biofuels. And also considerations. Okay. Through biofuel provides an attractive alternative to current petroleum-based transportation fuel. Its production impact cannot be overlooked. The major challenges for long-term sustainability of biofuel production are mainly twofold: economic and environment. That is the case. The major challenges for long-term sustainability, if you want to produce this biofuel in a especially industrial scale, not laboratory scale and pilot plant scale. Okay. So if you're going to produce this type of biofuel, whether it's coming from first, second, or third generation, that should be economically viable and also environmentally friendly. That is the two main cases. Okay. So both should be satisfied. Economically viable, that means economic sustainability, and also environmental sustainability. Both should be there. Otherwise, nothing possible. Nothing and nothing. Because sometimes the product may be economically viable, but that is not environmental friendly. So you have to remove that fuel. Okay. Sometimes environmental friendly, but it's very difficult to produce. The production cost is very high. So your market value. The previous lecture I taught you the market value. Okay. මම කලින් කිව්වා නේද market value කියන එක. Market value of biomass කියන එක මම ඔයාලට ඉගෙනුවා. So that is coming from the economic. Okay, economic considerations. මේ දේවල් එකිනෙකට එකක් සම්බන්ධයි. ඒකයි මම මේ කියන්නේ ඔළුවේ තියාගන්න මේ දේවල්. So sometimes economically friendly and also not environmental friendly. So both should be considerable. That is the consideration. Most biofuel feedstocks are agricultural products, which is a point of major concern. That is the case. Agricultural products. The major challenge of the biofuel production. Most biofuel feedstocks are agricultural products. Food. අපි ආහාරයට ගන්න දේවල් තමයි ගොඩක් වලින් තමයි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ biofuels හදන්න වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට අපි තීරණය කරන්න ඕන, we should decide whether we are going to produce food or whether we are going to produce what? What? Biofuels. දැන් ඔයාලා දන්නවා දැන් ලෝකයේ මිනිස්සු you know most of the countries especially the African countries, they do not have enough food. But you can see the United States, they are producing 60 billion liters of ethanol. You can see. මේක නිකන් අහසයි පොළවයි වගේ දෙකක් නෙවෙයි. ඒ කියන්නේ සමහර රටවල අය කන්න නැතුව ඉන්නකොට සමහර රටවල් වල මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? They have excess food. නේද? They have excess food. Agricultural, they have excess agricultural products. They are used for their energy production purpose rather than used for their what? Food needs. They have more food production. ආහාර විසි කරනවා කියලා අහලා තියෙනවද නේද? එහෙම දෙයක් තියෙනවනේ ලෝකේ. කියන්නේ ආහාර විනාශ කරනවා. කියන්නේ they are destroying their food crops, the excess food crops. Okay. So the problem in this biofuel production is the problem is most of the cases we have to use food crops, edible. Edible means first generation. Still world is producing biofuels using the first generation feedstocks. Sugar cane, the basic food crops, edible food crops වලින් තමයි biomass වලින් තමයි මේ biofuel production කරන්නේ. ඒක නිසා that is the case, major concern. The key economic issue is that if food crops are used for biofuel production, in the brackets, you can see which is the case for first generation ethanol and biodiesel. You can see it's the edible biomass. Okay. Then there will be a shortage of food grains in the market. Definitely, if you maximize the biofuel production, there may be a shortage of food grains in the market, leading to higher dietary costs. That means මොකක්ද? ආහාර මිල ඉහළ යනවා. හරි? ආහාර මිල මොකද වෙන්නේ? අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඉහළ යනවා. මොකද අපි ආහාරයට ගත යුතු දේවල් එනර්ජි සඳහා යූස් කරනකොට definitely what your dietary cost will be very high. To address this concern, second generation biofuel production, which relies on either the biomass residues or non-edible agricultural products, has been developed. And as a result of that, scientists are moving for the second generation, because second generation majorly concerned about the agricultural waste, especially non-edible, not waste, but agricultural byproducts and biomass which is non-edible. The key issue, but still that technologies are not developed for producing considerable amount of biofuels in the market. You can make it සැලකිය යුතු ලෙස මේක මේ හදන්න බෑ. Still the first generation is the key method for the biofuel production in the world. Okay. So that's why the second generation is coming. පැහැදිලිනේ? හරි. ඊට පස්සේ, however, second generation biofuel production is also subject to environmental and economic concerns. Okay. You know, if you are using first generation, definitely there will be a food shortage. Okay. Also, second generation is a result for that problem. But anyhow, definitely second generation biofuel production is also subject to what? Environmental and both economic concern. Removing residues from the field for second generation biofuel production aggravates environmental problems due to reduction of soil organic carbon. That is the major thing in second generation feedstocks. That means reduction of soil organic carbon. That means දැන් අපි කියන්නේ දැන් ඔය ගස් යට දැන් අපි agricultural waste එක නැත්නම් agricultural byproducts ගත්තාම if you are going to put into the ground what? කියන්නේ මේ පොළවට අපි දැම්මොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? පොළවේ තියෙන සරු බව වැඩි වෙනවා. That means the soil organic carbon content will be very high. That is very good for the crops. Okay. So if you use second generation biofuels, what will happen? Definitely your soil organic carbon will be reduced. Okay. So what will happen? Loss of soil organic carbon leads to a vicious cycle of increased soil erosion and also increased greenhouse gas emissions, lower soil productivity. So your soil productivity will be very low, and also higher mineral fertilizer input. So you have to input more and more fertilizer for your crops. කියන්නේ වගාවන්ට වැඩිපුර දාන්න වෙනවා. පැහැදිලි? ඒ නිසා හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න. Increased cost of production, and එතන මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? If you use more fertilizer for your products, what will happen? Your market value will be very high because your production cost is very high. පැහැදිලි? හරි. And impaired water quality due to surface runoff. Okay, so you can see this is National Research Council 2011. Okay. Then growing dedicated crop biomass. Dedicated means what? So as a result of that, world is now already developed dedicated crop biomass only for the first or second generation biofuel production. පැහැදිලිද? දැන් අපි හිතන්නේ දැන් අපි biofuel production කරනවා නම් ලංකාවේ නම් මොකද්ද කරන්න පුළුවන්? දැන් අපිට පුළුවන් නේද? කැත්තක් හරි පිහියක් හරි දීලා කොහෙන් හරි ගස් ටිකක් හරි තනකොළ හරි මොනවා හරි ඔය බයෝෆුවල් ටිකක් වටේ ගිහිල්ලා කපාගෙන ඇවිල්ලා ලංකාවේ process එක එහෙමනේ. නමුත් වෙන රටවල් වල එහෙම නෙවෙයි. ඒගොල්ලෝ dedicated crops තියනවා. එතකොට අපිට මේ තනින් තන තියෙන ගස් කපන්න බෑ. Deforestation කියන එක නවතිනවා. Deforestation will be minimized. Okay. Dedicated crops තියනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ actually when you consider about Giranduru Kotte Vidulanka biomass plant. Okay. I know the plant manager from engineer from Peradeniya, Dileep Varnasinghe. Okay. He's one of my friends. He's working as the factory manager in Giranduru Kotte Vidulanka biomass power plant. That means Ginisiriya. Yani Ginisiriya කියන ශාකය. ඔක ලාඩප්ප කියලා කියන සමහර පැතිවල they use Ginisiriya for producing what? Energy using boiler operation. Okay. So biomass boilers. So biomass energy. So they have dedicated crops. පැහැදිලි? නැතුව ලංකාවට ගිහිල්ලා ගිනිසීරිය කපාගෙන ඉන්නේ නැහැ. පැහැදිලිනේ? So they have dedicated cultivations, dedicated crops. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ මොකක්ද කරන්නේ? කාලෙන් කාලෙට time to time they are cultivate and take the yield time to time according to the production. කියන්නේ එතකොට මේ dedicated crops වලදී වෙන්නේ deforestation කියන එක ඒ වගේම ඔය කියන soil erosion or what I have said earlier, soil organic carbon content that will be reduced, the impact will be reduced, but you have to manage the dedicated crop. Okay. So you have to use fertilizers, you have to, if your soil organic carbon reduce, you have to introduce organic carbon to your soil. Okay. So that is case, but when you consider about a whole country or area, that is good. Dedicated crop technology is good for the biofuel production. Okay. ඒක තමයි අපි කියන්නේ දැන් when you consider about Brazil, they have very large sugar cane. කියන්නේ ලංකාව වගේ 10-15 ගුණයක් විශාල මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? Sugar cane cultivation තියෙනවා. කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ dedicated crops. They are producing ethanol. And අපේ ලංකාවේ they have, actually we have dedicated crops. Okay. You can see in Sevanagala, Udawalawa area, Tanamalwila, and also Vellawaya, Buttala, Monaragala, you can see, and also Higurana, Ampara. If you are from that kind of area in Sri Lanka, you can see there are Uppagawan neda. Then even dedicated name, then mix to then transfer. We have dedicated owned by the company or otherwise people. Okay. හරි. ඒ කියන්නේ මම හිතන්නේ ඔයාලට මම මේ කියන දේ පැහැදිලි. හරි. Then growing dedicated crop biomass only for first or second generation biofuel production either competes with agricultural and pastoral lands or leads to deforestation with increased GHG emissions. Oh. Okay. Then dedicated crops are not the answer for that solutions. Okay. But if you have dedicated crops, you can manage that land. Okay. Time to time according to your product. If your nutrition value of the soil will be if soil reduced, you have many ways to increase the organic soil content, soil organic carbon content or mineral content, or by using mineral fertilizer inputs. That type of methods are there. Okay. So next I am going to teach you third generation biofuels from cultured algal biomass or advanced biofuels from domestic and industrial waste have certain advantages over biofuels from agricultural feedstocks. කියන්නේ compared to what? Agricultural feedstocks means what? Edible or non-edible, both are there. Okay, so that means the first generation and second generation. So compared to first and second generation, what? Cultured algal biomass or advanced biofuels. Advanced biofuels means I already teach you what? Biofuels from bio waste. That means agricultural waste. Okay, not directly agricultural byproducts or agricultural crops or edible or non-edible things. Okay, so third generation biofuels from agricultural, from cultured algal biomass or advanced biofuels from domestic and industrial waste have certain advantages. There are many advantages over biofuels from cultural feedstock. Production of biofuels from algae also has a potential for significant resource use and negative environmental impacts. That means very less amount of land need. Okay, කියන්නේ මේක අක්කර ගණන් උක්වගාවල් නේද? සූර්යකාන්ත මල් නේද? ඒ ඕන වෙන්නේ නැහැ නේද? sunflower oil කියලා you already I think this is sunflower. Okay, sunflower oil extraction is one of the very famous method for the biodiesel production in the world. Okay, නේද? දැන් අර ඔයාලා දැකලා තියෙනවා නේද? අර ෆිල්ම්ස් වල එහෙම නේ. නිකන් සූර්යකාන්ත මල් යායක් තියෙනවා. මේ මොකටද ඒ යාය තියෙන්නේ? මේ ආසාවට ඉඳපුව නෙමෙයි. That is for the what? Biofuel production. That is the extraction of sunflower oil. Okay, නේද? ඒව තමයි වගාවන්නේ. එතකොට so you have to spend a lot of land, very higher amount of land area, dedicated land area for this type of production facilities, especially for the raw material, that means the biomass. Okay, so if you use third generation, that means algal biomass, your environmental impacts will be reduced comparatively very high. Can you compared to first and second generation? පැහැදිලි නේද? ඒ කියන්නේ less amount of land. Then you can see production of biofuels from algae also has the potential for significant resource use and negative environmental impacts. Okay, ඒකෙන් මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? Production of biofuels from algae also has the potential for significant resource use and negative environmental impacts. No, then සමහර පැති වලින් advantage එකක් එනකොට what? But also that also have what? Significant resource use and what? Negative environmental impacts. So this is true for all forms of energy production. Okay. However, actually this type of statements are found through industrial and academic research by this person. You can see this is the reference. Okay, if you want to learn these things more and more, definitely what you should do, you should go to this reference. Okay, I am not actually expect you that much of reading, but as university students, definitely you should read. Okay, අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම read කියවන්න ඕන. Okay, you should read and come to the lecture and note down what I am teaching you. Actually මේ දේවල්, if you are good in English, actually මේක අර එංගලන්තේ සුද්දෙක් වගේ වෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. හරි? If you are good in English, you can easily understand what I am saying, and also this is not rocket science එකක් නෙමෙයි, මේක ඕන කෙනෙක්ට තේරෙනවා. හරි? Even if I am not doing this lecture, if you have the dedication and your effort, yourself can easily what? Understand these concepts. Okay, so I am just giving you a help, okay, and guide. පැහැදිලිනේ? හරි. එතකොට මේකේ මේ 아무තු දෙයක් නැහැ. නමුත් මේ concepts you should know, and also these this type of graphs. Okay. These should be in your mind. අනිවාර්යෙන්ම තියෙන්න ඕන. Most probably there will be a very interesting question. Definitely I will give you a question from biofuels. So you should තව කියවන්න. තව reference හොයාගෙන මේට අදාළ දේවල් කියවන්න. හරි? Okay. So your knowledge will be developed. Okay. So then, however, biofuel production from algae that are highly productive and less resource intensive is considered an economically viable biofuel production pathway at present. What National Research Council in 2012 says. However, biofuel production from algae that are highly productive and what? Less resource intensive is considered an economically viable. That is economically viable. Okay. Biofuel production pathway at present. Okay. Ultimately, any new kind of biofuel production technology needs to be environmentally sustainable and economically profitable. මේ දෙකම තියෙන්න ඕන නේද? Both economically and environmentally sustainable වෙන්න ඕන මෙන්න මේ කියන biofuel production. Most of the cases actually environmentally sustainable biofuels, because compared to petroleum fuels, they are environmentally sustainable biofuels. What is the problem? Problem is economically not profitable. So you have to you should have dedicated crops, and also your land will be waste, and energy content, the biomass energy content will be very low. So the calorific value will be very low compared to petroleum fuels. So to get some amount of energy, you should have higher amount of fuel. So also water content. I will teach you this concept in next lectures. Okay, water content and homogeneity of the materials. Okay, so if you take wood chips, the wood today you get the wood chips is different from the yesterday feedstock. So you have to manage according to the situation. So you have to pay immediate attention. There are a lot of processes, the pre-treatment methods. Today I teach you. Okay, there should be pre-treatments. So very, very critical processes, and finally your market value will be very high. නේද? දැන් අපි එතනෝල් බෝතලයක් දාලා වාහනයක් දුවන්නේ නැහැ නේ. නේද? මම දන්නේ මම I am not using ethanol. Okay, I am not drinking. Okay, so I am not actually I don't know the price of ethanol. I think somewhat 3000 or 2500 or 3000. එතකොට අපි ethanol බෝතලයක් දාලා මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? අපි වාහනයක් දුවන්නේ නැහැ. Actually there is a higher amount of tax inside that production. Okay, that's why that is very high. Okay, so that much of cost is not for the ethanol manufacturing. Anyhow, petroleum resources, when you consider about petroleum, that is very easy to access, and also calorific value is considerably very high, and also availability, and also transportation, storage, and supply demand කියන එක. හරි? supply demand කියන එක match කරන්නත් පුළුවන් වෙන්න බෑ. Otherwise the product is loss. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලට supply demand එකට supply එක දෙන්න බැරි නම් ඒ product එකෙන් වැඩක් නැහැ. Okay? So you have to match the supply demand and supply. Okay? හරි. I now 522 actually, I will show you a PDF. Okay, you can write this. Actually, I'm not going to ask anything from this PDF, but just I am showing you. This is one of the researchers. Okay, effect of ethanol gasoline blends. What is ethanol gasoline blends? in other countries, especially Brazil and USA and Argentina, they are nowadays using ethanol gasoline blends. Can අපි gasoline වලට ethanol පාවිච්චි කරනවා octane එක වැඩි කරන්න. So as a octane increasing agent and also a sustainable fuel. Okay. Ethanol is blend with gasoline to use in gasoline engines. ඒ කියන්නේ petrol engine වලට අපි ethanol පාවිච්චි කරනවා. පැහැදිලිනේ? Not in Sri Lanka. Okay, still not developed. There are few vehicles in Sri Lanka tested, but in commercially you cannot see ethanol gasoline blended vehicles in Sri Lanka. Okay, so you can see if you are interested in mechanical engineering and also some technology fields, you can read this paper, Effect of Ethanol Gasoline Blends on Fuel Properties, Characteristics of Spark Ignition Engines. Spark ignition engine means definitely petrol engines. Okay, so we are introducing a spark in petrol engines. Okay, this is the paper, so you can see this is the case abbreviation E10, E15, E20, E25. So if you visit a country like Brazil, in petrol shed, you will see E10 fuel, E15 fuel, E20 fuel, E25. So what is the meaning of this abbreviation? You can see gasoline means 100% gasoline. So in Sri Lanka, we are using 100% gasoline. Okay. So E10 means 90% gasoline, 10% ethanol. Okay. What ethanol? Which type of ethanol? Anhydrous ethanol. Okay. So you cannot use ethanol produced in Palvatta, okay, to produce this type of fuel because that have only 96.3. So if you want to use the ethanol as a fuel blend, definitely you have to use the extractive distillation process after general distillation, and you can use in vehicles. But this is not practice in Sri Lanka. Actually, the last month, ගොඩාක් ඔය biofuels, biodiesels, many people came to the media and talk about biofuels, waste to energy, එක එක concepts කතා කරා. But at that time, I think that should be a turning point in Sri Lanka for these biofuels. But anyhow, that trend is already destroyed. ඒ කියන්නේ යම් කිසි start එකක් ආවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි try කළා මේක මොකක්ද කරන්න පුළුවන්. What how can we use Sri Lankan produced ethanol to blend with vehicles? ඒ කියන්නේ මේක අපිට අපේ රටේ දැන් අපි හදනවනේ යම් කිසි ethanol ප්‍රමාණයක්. If you are using this ethanol for fuel blend, we can reduce the gasoline import cost. In gasoline ලංකාවට ගෙන්න මුදල අපිට අඩු කරගන්න පුළුවන්. යම් කිසි amount එකක්. හරි? පොඩි හරි percentage එකක්. So that type of discussions were in few months ago, but now that trend has can කට්ටියට අමතක වෙලා. හරි? පැහැදිලිනේ? So you can see 15% ethanol, 20%, 25 ethanol, 30%. Okay. You can see. Okay. Okay, if you interested, I am not going to give you this paper. Okay, otherwise you are messed up. Okay. If someone is interested in this paper, I will give this paper. Okay. Already I have given the today's materials for your code demonstrators. Okay. So they will give this PDF to you. So you must read this one and prepare your own short notes. And the next lectures, I will teach you algal biorefineries, then lignocellulosic, the non-leadable feedstock biorefineries, and also first generation biorefineries. So easily you can understand what is algal biorefinery. Algal biorefinery means what? The third generation feedstock. They are using the biomass. What biomass? Freshwater algae or wastewater or what? Marine algae. That type of understanding should be with you. Okay. Otherwise, it's very difficult to conduct these lectures. So keep in mind this categorization, specifications, how producing transterification is very special process and one and only process for producing biodiesel. Without verification, you cannot produce biodiesel. So also with fermentation and distillation, you cannot produce it. So this type of questions should be in your mind. Okay. Okay, I think today's lecture, I think you had a good idea about biofuels and how they introduced and defined, and also classification, first generation, second generation, and third generation, and how producing, what is the general process for producing ethanol, and the Sri Lankan applications where we can see the first generation bioethanol production in Sri Lanka, and also biodiesel production. Okay, potential benefits, and also the benefits and economic and environmental challenges, and also the impacts. Okay, so I think a small PDF, only 3 pages, so you can leisurely read this paper, and every word is very important for you because there is a thing to learn. Okay. So I am going to stop the lecture. So thank you very much for the participation. We will meet you the next week, Friday, or I will inform you. Please give the time slots, possible time slots for the demonstrator or coordinators. So we will join with next lecture. The next lecture, I will give you some assignment. Okay. As the first assignment, that may be a group assignment or individual assignment. I will decide according to the with talking your supervisors and also the coordinators. Okay. So go through the materials PDFs. This already I have given you today's with today's one 3 PDFs. Okay. From next day, I try to because I am not much preferred to do with slideshows, because everything cannot be teach. Okay. So that is an interesting PDF. There is a very nice categorization, nice pictures, and also classifications. Very good reading materials. Okay, not large books. So you can interestingly, easily go through that type of reputed journals and papers. So you can easily understand the concepts. Okay, rather than looking for a few slideshow. Okay, so I think now it's time over, so I'm going to stop the session. Now I think you boarding වලට යන්නත් ඇති, so I will stop the lecture. Okay, thank you very much. Let's meet in next week. Okay, thank you very much, and goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.